And he directed me to 4 Bible verses that we're going to unpack tonight. Just 4. Isaiah 26:3 is the first one. You keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. So let's just sum that up here. Staying connected to the Lord all day long and stubbornly trusting in him. That's what that says to me. Staying connected to the Lord all day long and stubbornly, I just love the word stubborn. It's become one of my favorite words in spiritual warfare. Like, stubbornness gets a bad rap. Because it can be used unwisely, but man, when you're stubbornly choosing to trust the Lord, that's a really good thing, right? So staying connected to the Lord all day long, stubbornly trusting in him. And we get some clues as we examine both parts of this verse in Isaiah 26:3. I'll read it again for you. It says, you keep in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Well, when you look at the first part, in the original Hebrew language, that word stayed, it said that your mind is stayed on the Lord. Stayed means leaning upon, set on, standing fast on, lying hard on. Those are all the meanings of that word. So we're supposed to be like leaning upon the Lord, set on the Lord, standing fast on the Lord, lying hard on the Lord. So in other words, you're going to be completely at peace when you continuously throughout your day set your thoughts stubbornly on the Lord, leaning upon his promises, resting the full weight of your concerns on his shoulders, right? You're like resting your full weight of all your concerns on his shoulders, not your shoulders, on his shoulders. You have to stay tethered to him. Like, I just have to stay connected to him. I have to, I just have to be connected. This cannot be out of my sight almost, right? I need to be connected to him. So what physical reminder could you carry with you to remind yourself that you need to stay connected to the Lord? Do you really trust the Lord? Because we say we trust the Lord, but do you really trust the Lord to take care of your concerns, the things that you're anxious about, the things that you're irritable about? Do you really trust the Lord? Do you believe he is almighty? That he's all loving? That he's all compassionate, full of mercy? Do you believe Romans 8:28 when it says he's going to bring something good even out of a situation that doesn't look so good right now? Do you really believe that? When you're faced with arguing or disobedient children, do you trust that the Lord has this under control? When you find a lump in your breast, do you believe that this did not catch the Lord by he's shocked. He's like, how did this happen? That he is in control. When you don't see how God's going to straighten out your financial mess, do you trust him and come to him for advice instead of Googling for advice? Do you trust that the Lord has the best plan for how to deal with that financial mess? Do you really trust God? Okay, second Bible verse. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So summing this up, bringing every concern to God and intently listening for his counsel. So it's bringing every concern, yes, but it's also intently listening for his counsel. Do you bring all your concerns to God in prayer, or do you stew on them? How many of you are stewers? You know what I mean? Like you just keep on, no one's raising their I never stew about anything. You guys are lying. I'm just saying, call you out right now. Come on, almost all of us stew about things, and God's saying, just bring it to me in prayer. Just bring it to me. Stop Googling, stop going to forums, stop calling 5 friends. What do you think I should do? God's saying, just bring it to me, and then could you actually pause and let me answer? But aren't we all famous? I'm throwing myself under the bus here too, because I do the same things too many times, where I go okay, God, here's my concern. Okay, thanks. And then I walk away. And he's like, I was going to answer. Could you just pause for 1 second? And I forget to pause and listen for the answer. Does anyone else have a problem with that? Yeah. Okay, thank you for raising your hand so boldly. How about if we intently listen for his answer to our questions? When you don't know what to do Do you pause and ask the one who created the universe if he might possibly have the answer? Man, wouldn't we be so much better off and have so much more peace if we were consulting the Lord of the universe about everything that we stew about? Just a thought for you. Isaiah 32:17 is our next one. The fruit of righteousness will be peace, and the effect of righteousness will be quietness. How do we sum that up? Gaining peace in your soul by seeking to obey God's commands. Yeah, this is the most popular one, of course. Is it reason that you're not at peace because you're out of sync, out of step with God? Is that a possibility? He brings peace to the soul of the person who obeys him. Luke 10, a very familiar passage, but let's just unpack this one more time. Now, as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha, overachieving Martha, welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Lazy Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching.
That ain't right.
But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she went up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my lazy sister, that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me. But the Lord answered her, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion which will not be taken away from her.
Yay, Mary!
I tell ya. How do we sum this one up? Asking God to give you His priorities for your day. His priorities for your day, which may even include rest. Hallelujah, right? It might even include rest. Yay! Martha was not at peace for a number of reasons, some of which may apply to you and to me. She had not taken time to fill herself up with the Lord. Mary was filling herself up with the Lord. She was sitting at Jesus' feet. Martha had not taken time to fill herself up with the Lord. So guess what? She was running on her own strength. And that was running out. And so she was getting frazzled. Does that sound like you? But here's the thing. Even Jesus had to walk away from the demands on him and get refreshed. He often went to desolate places. He pulled away from the crowd. And let me tell you, they had demands. There was like a steady stream of people saying, heal me, help me, cleanse me. And he actually walked away periodically, even though there was so much to do, like a to-do list in front of him. He walked away to get refreshed with the Lord because he knew he needed to. So I'm thinking, if Jesus needed to do that, maybe I do too. What about you? Maybe. Again, she had not consulted the Lord about her priorities. Maybe a priority in your day is to take a moment away with the Lord. Luke 5:16, this is referring to Jesus. He would withdraw to desolate places and pray. Jesus was never frazzled, even though the demands on him were staggering, but he was never frazzled because he took time to refresh himself with his Father and because he consulted his Father often. I'm sure he was getting priorities from the Lord, like, okay, this is what I want you to do next, right? One other thing about Martha, well, maybe two other things. She allowed herself to be distracted. Did you notice that? I mean, Jesus called her out and said, you're distracting me by many things. So what is distracting you from simple devotion to Jesus? What is distracting you from simple devotion to the Lord and quality time with Him? And even good things can be a distraction from the Lord. Have you noticed that? Even good things can be a distraction if they're pulling you away from quality time with the Lord. One of the things, she prioritized tasks above quality time with people. And for us high achievers and task-oriented people, anyone else like that in the room? I am totally that way. That can be a problem. I know that can be a problem for me. Prioritizing tasks over people is not the correct way. It's upside down. Jesus always prioritized people over tasks. Do you take the time to really notice your husband, to see your children, right?